Hello Stampers, it's Elizabeth from StampScrapandMore.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator located in Canada, and I have something a little bit different for you today. Stampin' Up! Recently announced that their supplier of Whisper White cardstock had gone out of business because of COVID, and they have had to replace that supplier with a new one. So instead of Whisper White product, we now have something called Basic White product. It includes the note cards and envelopes, the Whisper White envelopes, the Whisper White Thick, regular Whisper White. So I'm going to do a comparison of some of the products side by side, coloring, stamping, quality, feel, texture, etc. And I'm going to share it with you. Okay, I'm going to start with envelopes. And can you see the difference? I can see the difference. So on the left side, this side here, is Whisper White. On this side, it is Basic White. So as far as the envelopes go, for me, the only real difference is the color. The Basic White is a little bit brighter than the Whisper White. When I feel the two, I actually feel the same satiny finish of the envelopes. I actually really love Stampin' Up's envelopes, and I was hesitant when they said that they were changing suppliers, because I think their envelopes are superb. They've got a real nice satiny finish to them, and to me it is the similar quality. Exact same design as previous. So this one is your Whisper White, this is your Basic White, and you can see how the Whisper White, the Basic White, is just a little bit brighter. That's envelopes. Now we're going to get into regular cardstock. And I haven't labeled these, but when you see them in person, you can actually see the difference. So this is Whisper White, this is Basic White. Again, this is the regular cardstock. You'll see that the Whisper White is a little bit, the Basic White is a little bit brighter than the Whisper White. As far as feel goes, it feels to me the same. It feels identical. So let's do a stamp and blends test. So I'm playing with the Kangaroo & Company because I'm getting ready for a Super Teams event next weekend for a bunch of Canadian teams. We get together quarterly and we do a Super Team event amongst all of us. And I am going to be playing with Kangaroo & Company. So that's my job. So I happen to have this out on the table. So this is Whisper White, and this is Black Memento, just so you know. And this is Basic White. And this is a cork, so I have some give here. If you're using photopolymer, please use a paper pierce mat to get a really clear, really crisp image. So I've stamped the two, and when they're stamped, to me the image is noticeable, like the color. So this is Whisper White, this is Basic White. You can see the Basic White is definitely brighter. So here's going to be the test with the blends. I am just going to color these really quickly. I'm not going to be too precise on the coloring, but I'm going to be using the dark and the light smoky slate. And I did pick a small image intentionally because sometimes a small image you saturate them more with color. And that's the dark smoky slate. Now I'm going to do the light smoky slate, and I'm going to blend all those colors in. I put a little bit of petal pink on his cheeks and his nose just to give him a little bit of definition. And I'm not really doing a great job of coloring, just so you know. I'm just trying to load the color in so that we can see how it takes the color. I will say that I think to my touch, I'm still partial to Whisper White, I'm going to be honest with you. And it takes the color maybe a little bit nicer. It's not as dark, maybe that's the color, what I want to say. So I think I was the same heavy-handedness on both of them, but I do think this one is a little bit darker, but it's adorable, it's cute, and it could look darker because this is brighter And so it's saturating the image a little bit more. I don't know if that makes sense, but maybe that's why this looks darker. This has a more of a yellow undertone to it. Now here's the test. Let's do the back. So it's about the same. This one did bleed in a little bit more than this one. But to me, they look similar, and the feel is very similar. Now let's get to the Whisper White Thick. Here's the Whisper White Thick. Again, I can tell by my eye, this is the dark, this is the Whisper White, and that is the basic white. You can see that's just a little bit whiter. To me, the Whisper White is a little bit silkier to touch. The basic white has a little bit more grip to it. Not a lot, but I noticed it more than in the comparisons with the other two, with the envelopes and the regular weight cardstock. This one is silkier. This one has a little bit more grip to it. And let's do the test again with stamping. Nice crisp image, it's always important. And a nice crisp image. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing. And again, you're going to show you the two. And now I'm going to put a little pink on his cheeks. And just doing that pink on his cheeks, and I was the same heavy-handedness on both of them. This one goes on, soaks in more. Maybe that's because the grippiness of it. And you'll see on the back, it seeps through more. And now let's do the dark, this dark smoky slate. And I'm just going to color in his feet, his chest, and it does seep in more. It definitely seeps in more. It's more darker. It's darker. And now I'm just going to color in. And I'm intentionally going to be light on this guy, and I'm not being very heavy-handed on him. I'm intentionally not saturating him, but I notice that it is going on. It does seep in a little bit more. It blends well. Don't get me wrong there. It blends well, but just be aware that it does seep in a little bit more. This is just my personal opinion. This is just my testing. This has got nothing to do with anything that I've seen online. Actually, I haven't even looked at comparisons online, but I'm noticing that this goes on a lot lighter on the Whisper White. And I was very light-handed on that, very light-handed. And I'm going to color this in, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two. And this one I'm not being very fussy on, I'm not being very light-handed, I should say. I'm actually being very heavy-handed. And I'm going over multiple times in some of the areas. Okay. So there are the two. So you see I was very light-handed on here, and I was heavy-handed on here. Now I'm going to show you the back. So this does seep through onto the back side where the Whisper White did not. And I was very light-handed here, very heavy-handed here. So obviously, if you were going to use this, you would have to mat it. If you were going to use this thick, as your base of your card, I think you would definitely need to put a layer on top to color on top of. And you couldn't color directly on top because it will seep through. You didn't get that on the Whisper White, but you do get that on the basic white. So that's my comparison. It colors great and it feels great to the touch. Like I said, this has a little bit more grip to it. You can actually feel it. Don't notice it on the regular, oh, should go overhead. Don't notice it on the regular cardstock, just on the thick. I just noticed the grip on the thick. So anyhow, if you have any questions, my name is Elizabeth from stampscrapandmore.com, and that is my comparison on the basic white and the whisper white. Any questions, let me know. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you again soon.